Hello! I need to make sure my audio is working, so bear with me a moment.
Yes. Minor technical issues here. Hi.
I sound like I'm talking on a 1980s telephone.
You do sound like you're talking on a 1970s telephone.
So that's... right, hang on a second.
It is...
Any better now?
What was that?
Any better now?
Slightly. Slightly.
Right, this is terrible. This is Gareth. I'm calling in from Slough. I don't live in Slough. Slough's that's fine.
It's like an episode of Midnight Caller. How did you used to sign off? It was Gary Coleman, wasn't it? That played the Midnight Caller, and he was like, "Oh yeah, wherever you are, look after yourselves." You know, what was it? I can't remember his famous call. Like, it was a dodgy series. I always used to play it like 11 o'clock at night on ITV, and he had this amazing sort of call out, and I can never remember it. So it is strange. It is strange.
Okay. Right. Well, oh fuck, it's terrible because we need decent quality for the podcast.
Let me check for the YouTube if it. That's a good point.
So that's the thing is always make sure we have decent quality for the audio. We've just spent 5 minutes dicking around. What a great intro.
Well, we could say, is anybody actually watching at the moment?
It's me. I am listening.
And do you sound good on the YouTubes?
No, I sound like I'm coming through a bloody telephone.
Maybe we should.
I'm going to go and come back.
He's going to go, and he's going to come back.
All right. See you.
See you. Okay, this is me on my own, and I'm still trying to remember the midnight. He's back. Nope. Oh, he sounds good.
Right.
Oh, you sound so sexy now. You sound
perfect. Everything's back. Hang on a second.
You sound.
So what I'm going to do now? Right. So what I'm going to do now is
I'm going to get my little finger.
I'm going to put it following. Hello and welcome to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast, the podcast where we have no technical issues. You know what I'm going to do, don't you? I'm just going to pop into the back end and just chop out that beginning bit.
What I'm going to do is you cut me off in the middle. Hi guys, hello. We haven't been here for the last 5 minutes. We've just turned up. Swear, promise.
Some things happen. We get this shit on. We get similar shit on StreamYards too. So it's a server somewhere not behaving.
Yes.
It's because you're on the other side of the planet and I'm on the other side of the planet, and yeah, that's probably what's causing it. We're trying to relay through 15 different bleeding servers, unlike when I talk to Nigel, who's like the server next door. So on this podcast, we will be talking about 1899, because Keith has finally seen all of it, yes?
No, I haven't got all the way through it. I messaged you that earlier. But I haven't got through it all. But you can just spoil it for me. I'll watch it anyway.
Okay, I will spoil it for you because it is. I don't know if you've got to the bit where it goes all Doctor Who-ish, where they're jumping through portals to places. So that was cool. And then we've got the Game Awards. The Game Awards. They had Jedi Survivor. I'm a survivor. And they had Christopher Judge's 9-minute acceptance speech for God of War, and I like Christopher Judge because whenever I saw like the behind-scenes interviews of him on Stargate, it always came across as a bit of a prankster. So that was quite cool. And then there was the weird, I want to submit this to Bill Clinton bit. Did you see that?
No, I missed that bit completely.
We'll play that because we can all just go, ooh, what? And I'd love to hear. This kid just got up and he'd just like to thank my Rabbi Bill Clinton. It was the last one that was that last one that got through. It's funny because when it comes to the Game Awards and stuff, Xbox fucking didn't win anything. Do you know why? Because they didn't fucking produced anything. Bought a load of stuff, produced fuck all. We can talk about that. I haven't talked about games in ages, and I'd like to talk about games, and I've got some things. But there was a TV movie. Would you describe it as? I don't know if it made it in the cinema in Norway.
I don't know. I mean, they're saying it's a B movie, but actually, I thought the effects were pretty bloody good. There weren't a huge amount of them. Actually, when you actually look at how much effect shots are on screen, there wasn't a huge amount. But yeah, no, I watched it because I was intrigued.
And
okay. And what did you make of it?
I enjoyed it. I found it weird when they had the one American actor talking in English at the beginning.
Yes.
It was like, what? This is really good dubbing. It wasn't how he's talking English. Ah, crap. I loved the father character, and it was a great character. He's the classic in monster movies, the one, the local that warns you about the oncoming danger, be it giant ants or the mummy, or don't open that tomb, whatever you do, sort of thing, from like The Keep. He played that part. He played it really well. It was nothing. This is the thing, is it's nothing new, but God, was it needed? If that makes any sense.
No, it was nothing new. It was kind of very Norwegian in some ways. Having watched a few Norwegian things, Lilyhammer, I still mourn the death of that because I loved that. Although it got a bit weird in the third season, but the first two seasons of Lilyhammer were really good. This, I loved the build-up. The build-up was really good.
It felt right. It felt like Independence Day.
Yes.
Build up.
Yes. Agreed.
Really weird that it felt like Independence Day. Sorry, I'm having to bring up the bit on the IMDb page because there's no way I'm going to remember any of these names, nor am I going to be able to pronounce them correctly. I
enjoyed the reveal. So not the reveal on the video, but the actual reveal. I mean, we haven't actually said what we're talking about. We're talking about Netflix's Troll.
I said Troll. We're at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we're talking about Netflix's Troll, and I love when she's arguing with the father, right? And the father's doing his nutty thing, and it cuts to her, and there's this rock behind her, and then suddenly the rock reveals an eye opening up, and I just thought, oh, that's an awesome shot. And she's going, no, there's no such thing as trolls.
I like the bit before where she's been picked up by the military. They've taken her over to say the one person who can do it. Takes her father. He's sitting there slagging him off left, right, and centre. Goes, Dad, can you put some trousers on? I just love that because it was like he was all being all high and mighty, and then he was just cut down instantly in a very funny way. And it was like because he's probably an obsessive compulsive, so he can walk around his house in his pants and don't give two shits, which is fine by me. So that got a giggle out of me when I watched that. I liked the initial footage where you didn't quite see what it was. It was done really well, so you just got to see the slight outline of something and an arm. I was like, I missed that in Creature Features where they'd always they tease it bit by bit, and that was like, that's fine, and then they give you a proper thing. Now I've been told. Oh no, we'll get to that bit actually because I watched Midnight's Edges one where they were talking about Troll because you've got what's his name? Not Tom, the other guy.
Oh, the Norwegian guy.
Yeah, the Norwegian guy works in finance. Him, and he was he went through it and said this is and like real places and stuff, which is quite nice. But it was done well. I liked I liked it. So it's just, typical. There's a monster. We've dug it up. It comes out. Can't find it. No one's seen it, so no one can prove that it's come out. The father's the crazy person. And then it comes out, and you get the story about how the Norwegians like to build their castles on top of other castles. And their main castle in their capital, I can't remember.
Oslo.
It's built, Oslo, thanks. It was built on top of the troll castle.
It was kind of cool, and that was a good reveal. And then she realized that the sunlight does change them into stone. I kind of felt sorry for it dying at the end. You were
supposed to. They did the job. That's what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's like when it stopped a little girl in the theme park from getting squished.
Yeah.
It was hit by a helicopter, not squished. Then it was like it wasn't a bastard, and then they were like, I like the way it was great because they met the people, they showed them the underground cave. The scientists reached the conclusion: this troll ain't gonna fucking stop if he finds this cave. We're fucked. Yeah, that was her conclusion. And then she gets towards the end, and they're starting to blast it with UV light, and she goes, "Actually, I've changed my mind. This might be a bad thing." It's like you never see. It's not like in Independence Day. It's like, actually maybe like this virus is a bad thing. Yeah, it's easier in Independence Day because it was clearly arseholes, alien arseholes from another planet. But she was just like kind of she changed her mind. It's like, oh no, and then it was like, I think the troll in the end gave up, and you kind of get the impression it gave up. It looked like it could take them, but it went.
I think it wasn't its son. It was its family, and it had. But who's because you get that lovely little bit at the end, the sort of Marvel stinger at the end.
Oh yes,
and they are talking about making a sequel. So in fact they've planned 2 sequels because trilogy. I want to know what they do with that, because I don't want this to just become another troll rampages through. I want them to do something interesting with this, because if they just repeat it, it's going to be boring. So, if they do a sequel, they've got to, I thought at the end that you feel sorry for this creature. Yeah, okay, Godzilla kind of did it, but not to the same effect as this. Possibly because the troll was more human-like.
Closer to King Kong. They had the sympathy with King Kong.
So to do a sequel to this, it's got to be the right note. You've got to do something interesting. We're not just going to have another troll come fucking rampaging through Oslo, fucking shit up. We need something a bit different, I think, if they do a sequel to this.
See, the other thing, part of me too, is to go down the old Godzilla King Kong route, where they get another bad guy for the second film, something completely different from a troll, and then they got the trolls from the first film, and then in the third film they fight, which I haven't got a problem with, because it's trashy, but sometimes I enjoy trashy, and I'm not scared to say I enjoy trashy.
If we get a troll war, that could be kind of interesting. Full on troll versus troll over Oslo, that could be kind of fun. But they've got to do something that isn't troll walks through Oslo and rampages everything again. They've got to do something interesting with it. But I like the characters. I liked the nerdy guy that kind of quit his job, who was writing a book about, some kind of demon.
A monk who could remove his head and throw it at people.
I thought, okay, that sounds cool. I liked the Norwegian, what's his face? The army guy, right? Did it not remind you of the dude that I've forgotten his name? My brain's dead.
Stephen Amell, who played in Arrow.
He did. I thought he looked a bit like what's his face, Star-Lord as well. He had a bit of what's his face going for him.
So the actor's name, the character he played was Captain Christopher Holm, played by Mag Jordan. He looks more. I think he looks like a Norwegian version of Stephen Amell.
You could be right, actually. That it might have been. I thought he looked a bit sort of. What's his face?
Hang on.
What's his name? What's the actor
Chris
that plays
Pratt?
Chris Pratt. There you go.
Do this. This is like the old people with kind of borderline dementia conversation. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So look, there you go. There, his name is it's
yeah, you're right.
Mads.
That picture.
Stokard Peterson, because I'm not going there.
He does kind of look more like a Stephen Amell there, but I thought he had a sort of few Star Lord vibes going. But I enjoyed his character as well. Look, it was 2 hours of mindless kind of cool stuff with a pretty good build up. The build up was done very well. I enjoyed this. I watched the dub version a bit like you. You watched the dub version, or you watched the?
I watched the dub version. I think I started watching it last Saturday. I didn't finish it, and then I was like, "Fuck, I need to finish this thing off." So I finished it off on Thursday or Wednesday, where it was just like kind of, you know, it's like you're watching something and you get interrupted. But it was strange because it spawned a conversation about how foreign television and foreign films are now so much better than they've ever been. Yeah, because before we'd only ever be exposed to the shitty art house ones. Yeah, rather than proper. You get the odd Hong Kong one and the odd Tokyo kind of thing, but you never get anything that was like you are pushed towards kind of like a general kind of audience, mass appeal. And because technology and stuff has got all these things, you can do this yourself with a 10, 20 grand and enough patience and some good friends. Yeah. And it's fun. It's good. It has opened it up, because at the moment, when we look at our beloved franchises like Marvel, and maybe DC will sort shit out, but we can look at Marvel and stuff, and it's like kind of, I spent all my time when I was watching Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness going, what would Dumbledore do? Wrong wizard, wrong genre. But Dumbledore would have done a better job than him. That's what I know for a fact.
Oh God, Marvel Phase 4, and it's right. I was talking to somebody else the other day about this. One of my students, and we were talking about films, because we seem to have a similar sort of like, and we were talking about Marvel films, and I said that they've been shit. And with the exception of Spider-Man 3, it's the only one that I can really stand out and say I really enjoyed that. It's interesting this week about DC. I think DC are sorting their shit out. What I am slightly surprised about is people's shock that Patty Jenkins has been thrown out of Wonder Woman, 3. And it's like, has anybody actually seen Wonder Woman 2? I mean, that was a shit film. I mean, it wasn't just shit. It was really shit, because it didn't have Wonder Woman in it.
Yes. Now, I think that Patty Jenkins has got too big for her boots too quickly. And I think that she's demanding stuff instead of... Right. So if you listen to people like Stephen Moffat, the guy who directed the Pirates of the Caribbean film, I think put it best, yeah? He goes, your creative endeavors are subject to negotiation. Yeah. So whatever you've got in your head, you have to negotiate with the studio to get that. And it's a give and take process. You can have X, you can have Y, but you can't have Z. But can have Z, but you have to lose Y. Okay, I'll lose Y, and we'll have a toned down Z. And it's like, and it is this negotiation that you get, and sometimes it works out really well. So, for example, Deadpool, the first Deadpool film, right? At the end, they were supposed to have a massive gunfight. Okay, couldn't afford it. No money for a massive gunfight. So they made the joke about leaving the guns in the car, which was hilarious. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, and then you see Matey getting rear-ended by someone where he's got a brother in the back and then a bag full of guns on the seat, and you're like, oh, he'd be fucked. And then you had the sword fight and everything, and it panned out, because sometimes these things do pan out if you've got proper creative people. But again, it's negotiation. You've got to, but if someone's unwilling to negotiate, then it's not worth working with. And it's like James Gunn. I bet you with James Gunn, with his stuff, with Guardians of the Galaxy and this, that, and the other, he had to probably negotiate some bits. Disney, odds on, told him to tone some stuff down.
It's just people sort of seem to have reacted to this, going, "Oh, what's James Gunn doing? Oh, he's treating people badly. Are people you don't, it's James the friends you make in this business, and everything, and it's like apparently people getting fired left and right and center." It's like, yes, because you're all assholes. And I this is amazing to watch, that these fucking people who treat us with such disdain because we dare to disagree with you are now having their fucking karma returned.
People who won't negotiate. Yes,
and the Hollywood press are you're right. The Hollywood press are trying to make them into bad guy. He's not. He's just getting rid of the arseholes.
Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right. People won't negotiate.
You do it at work all the time, don't you? When you ask someone to do something, I need it done by Tuesday. Can I do it by Wednesday? Can you do it by Wednesday? Can you do it by Wednesday, 12 o'clock? All right, I'll do it by Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Great. Wednesday, 12 o'clock it is. I'll come around to your desk expecting things to be done. That sort of thing, yeah? And it's like kind of, you can't tell people what to do, especially when they hold all the purse strings and they hold all the money. Yeah? If you turn around and said, you know what, if Patty Jenkins had put $50 million of her own money into the film and they weren't letting her do stuff and it was $100 million, you go, no, there's something wrong with that. But if she's put no money into it and they go and try all that money and they go, look, you lost this money last time. We've got notes. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. Because it's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I think there's only a few people who ever got away with behaving like that. And they didn't even behave like that. That's like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and maybe Christopher Nolan too. Yeah. So it's, I know, unless you're exceptional, you don't get exceptional circumstances. That's the long and the short of it. Isn't that for everything in life? Sorry, it's a human condition.
Look, she made one of the better DC films. The Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman was okay, right? It was passable. Right. The second one is terrible.
So hang on a second. Did she? That's the next question. Did she make it, or were you seeing the fingers and how can I put it, the constraints of other people like Zack Snyder, making sure it visually looked the right way, and him enforcing the casting, and then maybe been someone else putting the story together too?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. You could be right. It's speculation as to whether that happened or not. But look, the second film is terrible. But then by that point, the DC universe, no one knew what they were doing with it. They were introducing all these different Batmans. Okay, they made Joker, which was really good, but again, they were confusing the matter and everything. And now, James Gunn and Peter Safran have come in and they're going to try and, organize shop. They've got rid of all these terrible movies. You just see these two fucking guys and how they dressed on the set, on the set, those pictures of them when they were on the set of that bloody Batwoman movie, and you go, I am not shocked on how white it was. I'm sorry, I know I'm being really judgy here, but you look at what they were wearing, and you look at them, and anybody that wears white like that with their hair down like that, you can just tell they're a bunch of fucking smarmy arseholes. So this movie was chock-a-block full of fucking woke bullshit. You just know it, right? I mean, talk about looking like snowflakes, but anyway, I am intrigued to see the Flash movie, right? Partly because I think it's going to be a car crash. I think they've put too much money into it now. So I think somebody's fucking locked what's-his-face in a room somewhere with a fucking gag on him and he's just feeding him through a tube or something. Or either that or they've fucking, tied him to a table and they've got him in an enforced coma and they're feeding him through a tube. Something like that, because he's gone very fucking quiet.
You're right. They've probably locked him away on some island in some dungeon somewhere to keep them safe. Hello, Chuck. While we're here, so what was it? Avatar. Have you heard about Avatar? Because I listened to a few people talk about it who had early screenings, which is a good sign. If they're willing to show it early, it's a good sign. It seems to have like family values in it. This is what I heard. It seems to have family values in it, and it's long.
I watched Critical Drinker
Ginger.
interview.
Critical Ginger. That's the perfect name for Nigel.
That's Nigel's name. Shit.
The Critical Ginger.
We need to get him back on. Yes. It's all right. Right. Critical Drinkers. Critical Ginger's a fucking good name. Critical Drinkers. See, I'm video where it's Chris. What's his face? Isn't it Chris Gore? Is it Chris Gore, the guy? Anyway, some guy, Chris something, who's on a lot, got to see it early, and he said everything that I kind of said about the first movie. He said the dialogue is terrible, right? That's pretty much, James Cameron doesn't do the best in the way of dialogue. He said, that the film is fucking long, right? But then he goes off on this, he goes, I want to see it again because it is a spectacle. That's exactly how I feel about the first movie. I was talking, I was talking to the student about the movie, and he's a Thai guy. And the first movie I ever saw in Thailand was Avatar. And I said, I saw it in 3D. And the thing that always sticks in my mind when I saw it in 3D, it's the only 3D movie where I actually saw them use 3D well. And it's always that bit where they're running through the trees and those seed pods come out. Well, in our
no. Hang on a second.
Doctor Who.
You think that?
I know where you're going.
No. Hang on a second. No. Wait. The ride does the 3D better.
It does. I'm talking about move.
People queue for an hour and a half to watch a 3D movie on one of those springy horse things that you get in the park as a child. That's how good the 3D there is. Sorry.
I'm talking about a 3D movie-wise. It's the only time I've seen it in a cinema. And I believe that you can go and watch this one in 3D. This one is about whaling, apparently. I don't know how they're bringing all the characters, but apparently it's family values. Apparently they don't make the dad the bad guy. Apparently what's his face is just a good dad. Fucking shock, right? I mean, we've got Hollywood's doing good dads. And even James Cameron has come out and said that Hollywood doesn't do dads right. That's because you're all assholes. And you will need a dad. Look, I think it's going to be one of those. It's going to have all the same problems that Avatar, the first movie, had. But you're going to come out of that cinema having enjoyed it. It's going to be fucking long. You're going to feel like you've gone on a fucking slog. But you're going to go, I want to go back and see that again. Because that's how I felt about Avatar. Even though Avatar was fucking long.
I watched Avatar at home and I was so unimpressed by the whole thing. I was like, everyone told me this was really impressive. I missed it at the cinema. I got it on DVD. I didn't buy it on DVD. I think I got it was pre-Netflix when you used to be able to rent it via post. Do you remember that? What was that called? Love Film. That was it. Got it via Love Film. And I watched it and I was just like, I like the robot thing in it. What's going on here? I'm gonna pick on Chuck for a second. Avatar.
No, he's taking the piss.
I know, Avatar.
It's the name of the drone.
It's a drone. It's one of your droning drones.
Yeah. It's an FPV. The latest FPV drone is called the DJI Avatar. Look, if you never saw Avatar on the big screen, it isn't the spectacle, right? If you just watch it on a home movie, it doesn't do it. It is a film like a lot of Cameron's films that are made for cinema. I wish I'd seen The Abyss in the cinema because that would have been amazing. And Abyss is my favorite film combined with Aliens.
I missed Terminator 2 at the cinema, at my local cinema. I'm so gutted. I could have watched it last week on a Wednesday.
I love Terminator 2, but The Abyss does it for me, as does Aliens in many ways. And Aliens only did it for me because of what you showed me. And now I can never fucking unsee those sentry guns. And I still love that because it makes the game for me, because it's one game that I've beaten you at.
My word. No.
One game.
Let's just revisit this, because this is what Keith does, yeah? He beats me once and then turns the game off and runs away.
He's never going to get over this. It's the one thing, right? It's not like Mortal Kombat I did it with. But with Aliens versus Predator, it's not like I played you 1,000 times until I won. I just fucking hung up on the ceiling. And you come running in. I've got my fucking gun.
I need some rematches. The one that I want.
Never giving you a rematch on that game.
The rematch I want is the Homeworld Cataclysm rematch.
Oh no, you'll kick my fucking ass at that.
I came up with I came up with a strategy that you didn't even see. You use a cruise missile at close range. So hang on a second. So Chuck's brought some bits up. We'll cut to that in a second. But James Cameron said some fucking stupid things. What was it?
A Hollywood director saying stupid things.
Oh, I just wish they'd shut the. Look, right. The best person in Hollywood for talking to the audience about the audience is Henry Cavill. Yeah, he just says, he just kind of supports the fans, doesn't take anything really controversial. It's like what you used to get in the 80s, where it was like, don't say anything dumb. I remember that.
What? Don't say anything dumb. Didn't you hear about Jennifer Lawrence being the first female actionist?
Oh my god. Oh my word.
I'm sorry. Remind me. How old is Sigourney Weaver? How old is Gina Davis? How old is what's her face from Terminator?
Right. Right, hang on a second. One of the most underrated action films of all time, I know it's probably because it's a Shane Black one, is The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yes,
Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. And it's fantastic. It is really fantastic. I was gutted when I thought they killed off Samuel L. Jackson, and then he comes back and he's like, "Come on, motherfuckers!" He's in the car, like barreling out after he's woken up from blood loss. And then the duck and the dick joke with the English actor, where he goes, how did you do it? I found the address. It was written in your notebook. Goes next to this picture of a dick, like that. It's a duck, not a dick. I'm not doing any justice. It's really good. That is one film again, and it was done. It was done in a really good way because she was like a kick-ass, like what do you call it, wet work assassin sort of person, and then she secretly, while she was doing this, she longed for a normal life as a mum, and then when she had amnesia, she then became what she wanted, which was a mum. Yeah, and it was only towards the end when they started threatening bad guy threatened to kill children. She turned into like fucking vicious mama bear, and properly went. Yeah.
It's a good movie. I look. I always kind of liked Jennifer Lawrence, but this week, I'm sorry,
I never liked Jennifer Lawrence. She always seemed like dead behind the eyes. You know how actors, right? It's right. Okay, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Chatto turns around and goes, "What you get when you get actors is, American actors pretend to be themselves. Yeah, they act themselves. British actors pretend to be the character that you've written. That's why they get the work." And I'm like, yeah, that's true, actually.
Look, this is why they cast so many British people as bad guys in their movies, because no one else does it quite as well. And to this day, what's his face? You cast Kevin Costner as Robin Hood. Okay, that's fine. But the genius casting of the Sheriff of Nottingham, that to this day is still one of the best fucking parts.
Oh, apparently there's a Norwegian version of that where it has an extra 5 minutes of Alan Rickman. I really want to see that if that's true. I had a friend who was a film buff. He turned around, why have you got the Norwegian version of Prince of Thieves? And he turned around and goes, because it's got 5 minutes extra of Alan Rickman. Because you're kidding. I went, no.
To this day, it upsets me, Alan Rickman going, because what a lovely guy, but God, was he a good bad guy? God, was he a good bad guy?
My driving instructor when I was driving also was teaching Alan Rickman's kids to drive. And he turned around, he goes, he met him and he fucking caught him off guard because he didn't realize who it was him at first. And he opens the door to him and he's like, hello there. And he's just going, I'm here to pick up so-and-so. He goes, okay, cool. And what he did was I think he'd done like 5 driving lessons with this kid. And the first time he met him, he gave him a gift of like kind of like a bottle of, because he was Irish, a bottle of whiskey. Because he'd go have that. And he was like, thank you very much. And then the moment he gave him the gift, he twigged it was Alan Rickman. He goes, oh my God, I've just realized who you are. He goes, yes, I am. And thank you. And he was like, okay, that's weird.
I remember seeing him live on stage, and they didn't tell us he was going to be there. A friend of mine got tickets to the Secret Policeman's Ball, and I don't know if they still do it. And we went to it, and it was a night of comedy. But they did the 4 Yorkshiremen sketch, and one of the Yorkshiremen was Alan Rickman, and I didn't twig at first. And it was only about a minute into the sketch, I suddenly went, "Hang on. I know that voice. That's fucking Alan Rickman." And they didn't say until afterwards. And of course, these guys all do it for free. But there's a YouTube video of it. But it's a very English thing, right? It's very English humor. So Chuck, if you're still watching this, it's very British. But the 4 Yorkshiremen sketch with Alan Rickman is just genius. And it's all of them, you know. I mean, you should get it because the Four Yorkshiremen, it's like they all sort of riff off each other about how bad they had it. You know, I lived in it and I had an outside toilet.
Keith, this would it would be today's Oppression Olympics.
Yes, yeah, no, you're right. But it was genius, and I loved it. You have to see it.
Okay,
Rickman was comedically genius.
That's all right, because Chuck put some bits in the chat, and I was letting us go because we had the flow. More movies we watched today. We want our vlogs to be like movies. Keith, I'm just going to add Keith at the end of every time there's a full stop or thingy. And what's better? And what better movies to check out than superheroes movies, Keith? So you could.
He's right, and he's right. The trouble is, no superhero movie in the last few years, with the exception of Spider-Man 3, has been any good. Or certainly from the people that are supposedly meant to be the fucking gold standard in superhero movies. Although having said that, I really enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I actually genuinely enjoyed that. It's the only bloody thing come out of Marvel on D+ that I've enjoyed. I've rewatched quite a bit of Andor, not this week, the week before, and again, that is very well done. I get why some people don't like it. I just think I love it.
The pacing is slow, but the problem is, what happened was we got a load of movies that were turned into TV shows with fucking scattergun pacing, yeah. And this was a TV show that was supposed to build. This would have been at home on BBC One at 9 o'clock. Yeah, it would have worked better if it showed on BBC One at 9 o'clock rather than Disney Plus, because it kind of felt like that sort of thing. I
agree. Yes, no. Okay, yeah, all right. Spider-Man 2 with that's pretty cool. But then I liked the Marvel Spider-Man movies. Gareth and I have different opinions, but Spider-Man 3 for me is, or the latest Spider-Man 3 for me has become my favorite movie. I rewatch it and I still love it.
Have you heard the rumors about them doing another not Tom Holland? Who's the other guy? Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yes.
With Venom as a bad guy.
Yes.
And it's going to be Tom Hardy. And I'm like, do it. You can't do Tom Holland. Fine. Don't do Tom Holland. Do Andrew Garfield.
Bringing Garfield back on has totally worked. I think they can do it. There is an outcry for it because people realize, look, say what you like, all three of them on screen together, each one of them bought their fucking A game to that. I loved all of it. That movie to me is near damn perfect. It is Back to the Future near damn perfect for me. It might not be for everyone, but it's that level of, it fixed every problem I had with every fucking Spider-Man movie.
I'll be honest with you, it fixed my biggest problem with the Tom Holland version of Spider-Man. Because the Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, he wasn't living like on the outskirt, on like the kind of outlier and bits like that. And I was really grateful that they did that. So it's one of those things.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do an Andrew Garfield movie with Venom in it. I think it would be really good. I want to see Andrew Garfield back. You can say what you like about him as Peter Parker. That kid loves the character of Spider-Man. Genuinely.
No, I've seen it. I've seen his interactions with the audience and stuff. And at comic book conventions, you're right. He loved the character. He loved that character, and that's like, it's nice because if you give him and you tell him to behave a certain way, it probably get him through it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Tom Holland is a lovely kid, right? I know somebody that knows him, and what you see on screen is what he's like. He is a nice kid, for the most part. Tobey Maguire has had his issues, but again, I think he kind of redeemed himself in Spider-Man 3. I bang on about this movie a lot, but it's a year since I saw it. And I've watched it again recently, and I still fucking love it. It still fucking gives me like the emotional heebie-jeebies, but I love it. I think it's a fantastic movie. But
what I like about it is I can clearly show the 3 acts in it, where you can see the act before, and then with the villains in the middle act, and then final act with the 3 Spider-Men in. It was. I enjoyed the crap out of it. It's weird. Just on Chuck's thing with Tower Bridge and Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man's really New York. I associate Spider-Man with New York. Spider-Man and Tower Bridge just makes me go. It was bad enough seeing him swing through the forests near the Xavier's mansion in the cartoon.
And it was kind of cool to see him on Tower Bridge because I love Tower Bridge. So but I know what you mean, that Spider-Man is New York. But look, Marvel wanted to do something different with the character, and had they just had him swimming through New York, people would have been criticizing, oh, it's just Spider-Man swimming through New York again. So to take it to London, it was kind of a nice idea. And I get it. I know exactly what you're saying, because there's like long-term Spider-Man fans. Spider-Man is pizza New York and New York taxis, right? That is Spider-Man. But I get that it was a good action scene, and it was, it was well done. Look, I like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and I agree with him that the Spider-Man, it was cool. But I also know exactly what you're saying. I get it. I get it. I do.
It's like seeing King Arthur in Arizona. It doesn't work.
No, I get what you mean.
That's what it is for me, because it's always there's so many things with Spider-Man, because he's got such a great rogues gallery. The only other superhero who has a rogues gallery like Spider-Man is Batman. Yeah,
yes.
The only two that are comparable between the set. Like even Superman's villains. This is the problem I have. Is everyone's like, oh, so you can do a Superman? No, it's difficult because Superman is so bloody strong. You have to put someone on his level, otherwise it looks like he's beating someone up. Yeah.
Batman and Spider-Man always had the better list of rogues and interesting villains. God knows what they're going to do for Spider-Man 4, but I'm kind of down for it. It's happening. They just don't fuck it up, Marvel. But then look, if the rumors are true about what's going on at Marvel at the moment, they know they fucked up. So
oh God, the things at Marvel, things at Disney at the moment is a lot of. I think Chapek might have got fucking out easy, given the rumors swirling around that there were financial improprieties going around. And it was like kind of, well, everyone's making, you can't, the CEO can't access the ledger. The CEO doesn't want to, can, but never really accesses the ledger when it comes to it. It's always the CFO or financial director in UK cases. Yeah, not good. But let's talk about, right, how far into 1899 did you get?
I'm finding it really tough at the moment. Now, I think it's because it's really dark, and because I've been working every hour God gave me, and I had a really difficult week. I just can't get into it at the moment. And I know it's good. I know there's a mystery there. I want to know what the mystery is, but it's just, I'm probably just too fucking tired. That's the problem.
It's like, knackered. But now you see those big water slides at water parks.
Yeah.
And you see the stairs that go all the way up to them. That's what that 1999 is. It's going up all those steps. But when you get to the top, you're going to go down some fantastic slide.
I know it's building to something. So, I'm on to the third episode. So, they found the Prometheus. The Prometheus is like, well, what the fuck's going on here? Some dudes got climbed on, and they know they got some new stowaway who's obviously clearly come from the Prometheus. And we've got the captain's tragic sort of family died in a fire kind of shit.
You haven't got the bit where everyone starts killing themselves.
Not yet, no.
Okay, right. So I'm going to.
But if this is not time travel, how the fuck are there a load of computer screens, like CCTV screens in 1899?
You need to watch it. It explains everything at the end. It all goes somewhere. It all pays off. Damn. I was hoping you'd have seen it, because because as soon as you get to the bit where you get the episode, it's like Doctor Who, yeah. And I'm not joking. The guy with the stowaway is like a David Tennant Doctor Who if he was German. Okay, and I mean that. A German Doctor Who, yeah. And it gets to the point where he's like jumping around for all these places, and it's like Silence in the Library. There's your clue.
It occurred. Okay. Oh. So it kind of occurred to me that they were in a Bermuda Triangle style thing. So with the compass going funny and shit, that was like, okay, this is kind of like a Bermuda Triangle. That's certainly what they're fucking hinting at. So, oh, hang on, the library. Yeah, but the library, there's a different. Are they in a simulation then? Right. Okay.
That's why it was all fucked up. Because they're stuck in a simulation. Only one of them can get out.
Oh, right.
Look.
Okay. Hi, Laurie.
Mrs. Kovac. Hello.
Okay. I kind of figured that. I figured that was one of the possibilities. Because I wondered why they made this huge thing about it all being digital in this digital world. And I thought, hang on, they're in a sim. Are they filming it this particular way on purpose? That it looks real, but not quite, right? And I think this is being done on purpose. Like the ships are all black, right? No ship in the world looks like that. I know because I built one. It took me 3 bloody weeks, right? Yes. No ship looks like that in the world from especially that period. Okay. So I'm sitting there going, those ships look too black. Okay. They made this huge thing about filming it on an LED. Is this a simulation?
So the thing that got me is I had 3 possibilities in my head. One was time travel, one was a simulation, and the other was the insane ravings of one person. But the thing that kept on pointing towards the simulation was the little green beetles.
Yes.
Like bugs in the system. And I was just like, because every time they kept on showing these little green beetles, I'm like, are they trying to say there's a bug in there's a glitch in it? And then there's a bit where Matey, as I said, the German Doctor Who, starts jumping from place to place to place. Yeah. And then at the beginning of every episode, you've got one character and you just hear this, wake up. Yeah. And then they wake up and then they're doing whatever they're doing. And more importantly, the theme tune to it is the same thing, the music they used for the promotion of the last Matrix film.
Matrix. Yes, I know. Yes.
And it was like, and there was green and the Matrix thing. And I was like, but it's where the simulation's taking place.
Okay.
That's the bit that gets you right at the end. And you go, because for me, I'm going to break you out the simulation. You need to use your ring to put in this device and it'll wake you up into the real world. Yeah. Because I think it was her brother was sorting something out. And I'm like waiting and I'm going, please be. And you know, when they talk about subverting expectations. Yeah. No subversion of expectations. I was expecting it to go this one way. Yeah. It went this one way. And I'm like, yes, that's where I wanted to go. And it went there. Yes. And it was, trust me. It's satisfying watch.
I need to watch. I need to watch it. I need to watch it when I'm sort of less sort of like. I'll try and watch it this week. I will get it trying licks this week. I will try and lick it this week.
Trust me, you'll get to the Doctor Who episode, and that's when it starts down the slide and really enjoyable. You got Matey from Andor, Game of Thrones, the actor, the old fella.
Yeah. I know he's in it. I know he's
when he turns up and he starts talking about stuff, everything starts making a bit more sense. And then it's like kind of, yes, I'll have a cup of coffee before I work out what's going on here. Dan, you need to watch it. Keep watching. I have.
Have you got the trailer to this? Because I tell you what, I'm buying a fucking PS5 before March now.
Okay, I've got the trailer.
I was just going, this looks so good.
I've got the trailer here. I loaded it up. See, I'm good. I've got this thing loaded before. I haven't seen the trailer.
I was betrayed by the one I trusted most. I will not be imprisoned again.
I hear you've been busy making yourself the Empire's most wanted.
A Jedi. Remind our friend here why
His kind are supposed to be dead.
Oh, my lost the key. I'm so excited.
We've done. The Empire has only grown stronger. Thanks, Bode. Part of the job, Custis. The Jedi is a threat. Not now that we have this. As long as we fight. Hope survives.
Stop that now. Right, I hadn't seen that trailer. Okay. Like, didn't set the world on fire for me until it got to the last third, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it was like, look, I'm not bought into this bit because it just looked more of the same, and then they kind of they started revealing.
I've seen some gameplay on the PS5, and it just looks right. It looks really good, and I've seen some like a little bit of sort of like the battle action with the lightsaber. Now, I really enjoyed Fallen Order. I thought the story was excellent. It felt like Star Wars, and it actually felt the best thing I'd seen from Star Wars since the Disney era. Right? I love it. I'm interested here because it's set 5 years in the future. What's going on with what's her face and that kind of mini Jedi archive? I'm intrigued to know what's going on there. And I want to know who the dude is in the Bacta tank. But some of the sort of gameplay looked really good.
The thing was, I saw that guy in the Bacta tank and I went, "Is that Starkiller?" And then it wasn't Starkiller. Then I'm like, "Oh," because it would have been if it was Starkiller, I would have gone, "Oh, that's an interesting showdown."
I think they're messing around with the idea of introducing some stuff that they're going to do in live action. I think they should just, not actively come out and say it, but quietly do away with the sequel trilogy. Not say we're doing away with it, but just quietly ignore it. If Disney are wise, right? Let's just forget episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Did you say wise?
I know. I know.
You're talking about a company that sealed a £3 million animatronic in the side of a mountain so they couldn't maintain it. Yeah. To which every theme park roller coaster designer across the world pissed themselves laughing at. I love that ride, by the way. That's fantastic Expedition Everest, but flashing lights is not the same as having Yeti try and reach down and grab you. Just saying.
I like what they did with the game. I liked the character of Cal Kestis. I liked what they did in the first game. I loved sort of going into the sort of like origins of and seeing the planet where Darth Maul came from. I love what they introduced there. They basically used a lot from the sort of Rebels lore and Clone Wars lore. The gameplay I've seen on the PS5 I was drooling at some of that. I mean, it was so good. I was just like, I don't care what it costs. I will work for the next 6 weeks, 19 hours a day to get my hands on a PS5 because there is no way I'm not playing that game. The first one was, as a Star Wars fan, I cannot fault that game from a story perspective. It was really genuinely good, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I can forgive some of the clunky gameplay in certain places because I genuinely enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to this. The trailer, the first half's not good, but once you start seeing some of the gameplay, and there's those little moments where there's little sort of like bits come out the lightsaber, you're going, okay, that's cool.
Right, hang on a second. they fixed something that I hated in The Force Awakens. Yeah. That cross guard. Yeah, there's a chance you'll injure yourself on that cross guard. They put safety features on it, and I'm like,
yes,
I like these people. Do you think they're secretly trying to repair Star Wars in the background?
Yes, because I think Fallen Order is the most Star Wars thing since Clone Wars. I think that Filoni's kind of giving them advice in the background, because there is a lot of Filoni stuff there. There's a lot of they didn't really mess with canon. They borrowed from it. We knew about the what's her face that Vader kills, right? She kind of turns up. We didn't know who she was or her origin. So you got that there. What's going on, with that sort of secret. The thing that the trailer did show us was kind of like this Jedi sort of, mini archive there. And she's back in it. And she's obviously some kind of monk. She's not full Jedi. She's obviously gone. He's on his own on the ship. What's happened to the captain of that ship? There's a lot to go on here. And I think that they're going to bring him into live action Star Wars. And I don't have a problem with that, because the character and BD1 buddy up is the best thing they've fucking done.
Yes. I like the way that BD1's like a parrot. It's kind of adopts like a parrot thing sitting on his shoulder.
Yes. Yeah,
I like that. It looks cute. I think it looks cute in the BB-8. I think it looks.
I like BD1 more.
Yeah, it also looks like it sounds odd thing to say. It looks like a toy that you could sell, and that kind of feels more Star Wars. That feels more Star Wars. Trying to sell a toy like that.
Which I kind of really want. I've just got to secretly get it when my wife's not looking, because I want BD1.
Fingers crossed, it's gonna be good. I don't think it's not going to be good. They've clearly thought through what they're doing.
Fallen Order was loved by people that actually played the game and followed it through. They genuinely loved it. When you go to the Wookiee home planet and all of that. I mean, those Wookiee levels. Oh God, they are gorgeous. Even on the PS4, right? They were gorgeous levels. And I can't wait for more of that. And damn it, I'm buying a PS5. I'm going to spend a shitload of money just to play this one game. That should tell you how much I love this. That game.
Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 will come out too.
Yep. No. I told you. What did I say? I will buy a PS5 when either Spider-Man 2 comes out or Jedi Fallen Order sequel comes out. Whichever one comes first, I will be out there buying a PS5. Right, we've got a date in March. God damn it, we'll have a fucking PS5 before March. Right, that I will, because hell am I not missing out on that game. Look, you asked me, you're done with Star Wars, and I get it, right? And I was pretty much there with you, right, until I played Fallen Order. And when I played Fallen Order, I went, fuck me, this is the best Star Wars I've seen in ages, right? And it really did give me those Star Wars feels and remind me of why I love Star Wars. That game restored my faith to a certain extent. The story, I love the story. I love everything about that game. So more of that.
You know why they picked the character, don't you? I've told you this before. They looked at what Star Wars was doing and went, you know what? There isn't a male lead. We need a male lead. So they picked a male lead because they wanted that. I find that amazing. Right. There's something else I want to show you before we get on to the weirdness that happened at the Game Awards. And this is it. It's the end that makes it.
It's bloody locked. We gotta keep looking. There.
All right, flash is clear. Keep your eyes on him, people. Somebody find the back entrance.
Best dirty movie I ever saw. Oh, crap!
This door will not hold. We must barricade it.
You stay here, pal.
See this? I spent a lot of time dreaming up how I was gonna kill you with it. You're mine now, and you're in for a world of... shit!
He cut his finger off.
Oh, hey guys! Oh, we were just having a little... I said shush. You hear that?
Please, help me!
Hey, Bruce! Still using shadows to scare the crap out of us criminals, huh?
I don't think that's Batman.
Don't sweat it. Batman doesn't kill people. Are you okay?
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
That's Kevin. I think that's Kevin Conroy's last thing as Batman. I thought it was quite cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite nice too.
Yeah. That is kind of cool.
Yeah, I
That
need
is
to.
kinda cool.
Anyway, they showed. I never give a shit. I never gave a shit about the what do you call it? The Game Awards. It's like what do you call it?
Shit.
It's like the Oscars, but I think it's better than the Oscars because sometimes the games that deserve to win. So Elden Ring. Elden Ring, yeah, Elden Ring won the best game, which everyone was raving about. That felt like properly justified there. Christopher Judge got the best performance for Kratos in God of War. He made a 9-minute speech. Clearly, he'd been drinking or puffing on something before he went up there. He was very emotional. It was really sweet. It just took fucking forever and a day. They put music on to try and tell him to fuck off because he was up there so long. But it was really sweet. But amongst all of this, something weird happened.
The Game Awards.
Sorry, I have to
supported these titles, and we create the games we want to create and do our best because of you. Thank you so much.
Note the kid behind him.
I think if God of War Ragnarok came out just a few months earlier, it would have a bigger chance.
You know, real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
What? See, that works better on a podcast. Yeah. So, yes.
I don't even get the context around that. I thought there was going to be some context, but nope.
Yeah, no, it was. He just turned up. It was like kind of yes. It was weird because that was the Elden Ring guys. Yeah, they're all Japanese. When you got like a French Canadian guy standing next to him, he's like kind of, you don't look very Japanese. What's going on here? So yeah, that was fun. I love that. It was just. There's going to be a story that kid will come out on the internet or something and speak and say, "Oh, I was my mates. You know, we've been trying to up each other in the pranks. We're turning up to meetings that we weren't supposed to be in, classes, lectures, all these sort of things." Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I haven't sort of had a lot of sort of interest in video games. That's partly why I haven't bought a PS5 recently. But yeah. There's 2 games that are coming that I have to. I have to. I have to have a PS5 now.
Give God of War a look.
I'll give it a go because that might be the one I buy it with. What would you say? Because at the moment, the ones that you can sort of get it with are Horizon or God of War. Which pack would you go for?
I would go for God of War over Horizon.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Horizon's good, but not as good as God of War was better. I can show you clips and stuff of it where he's fighting Thor and whatnot, and you're like, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Anyway, on that note, I was nice talking about video games. I haven't talked about video games for ages. Oh, no, hang on a second. There is one Gareth's PV. Right, I've been playing Battlefield 2142. Yeah. And I've got some footage of me firing a rocket directly at a tank and then somehow managing to get it under the tank tracks and past the tank.
How?
I don't know. I've got it. I recorded it. This is a great thing because now you can just press a button to record it. I managed to fire a rocket between the tank tracks and all the way out. I'll show you when we're done. I'll put it on Instagram for those guys listening.
Are you playing that on the PS5? On your Xbox?
No, I'm playing it on my Xbox because it's part of the what's it package.
Yeah,
like a free weekend, and I think they carried it on, so it's still there. I think I've got it until the 25th of December. I'm not too bothered when it goes. I've got Callisto Protocol, but it's really punishing. It wants you to do things a certain way, and I know maybe it's because I'm in the first part of the game, and then they'll let me off the leash. This the thing that gets me is the health on it, right? So imagine this, yeah, you've got like this injector syringe thing, yeah. So you're supposed to right. So the guy looks right. So if you want to health up, press the down button and goes, yeah, it's a syringe. And then kneels down, then looks at the needle, and then he sticks in his neck. Then he presses the button, and then it injects you. In the middle of a fight, that's shit. Yeah, you just want him to just jab it in his arm and go fucking quickly. Yeah, before you get ripped to shreds by some hulking great monstrosity that's been mutated by some virus or some kind of pathogen. And on that bombshell, it's time we went. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And we will see you on the next podcast. Bye-bye.